Marcella, I just successfully gave my presentation. You're still connecting to audio.
Okay, I'm still gonna do my PowerPoint presentation, Joyce.
Wonderful. Okay, Marcella, can you walk us through this?
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen with everyone. Thank you for attending, everyone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go step by step, go over what Rebecca just said. So this is the title, Electrical Vehicles Charging Stations at the Waterford Condominium.
Your sound's not coming through.
It's not coming through?
Are you muted?
I turned it off so we didn't have echo. Separate. It'll sit better.
Can you guys hear me? Rebecca and everyone else? Okay, great.
I can't hear you.
It's okay. Can you guys can come here if you like. Excuse me, everybody.
Your audio is coming through very well on the Zoom, Marcella.
Okay, but I think that Katya is coming here.
Great.
You want to sit here, Katya?
No, I'm gonna let the chairman sit over there. Isn't he?
No, you can maybe get in the back. Okay. Okay, thank you. So she covered the Paris Agreement, which is an international agreement that we belong to. In more than 200 countries are part of this international agreement. The entire goal is to decrease the rate at which the planet is warming up every year. And the very ambitious goal is 1.5 degrees Celsius, or up to 2 degrees. And so why are we talking about this at the Waterford? Because we live in Montgomery County, and Montgomery County is part of Maryland, and Maryland is part of the United States. And so we are part of this international agreement. Additionally, Montgomery County has, like Rebecca mentioned before, zero green gas emissions goal by 2030, which is only 7.5 years from now. It seems far away, but it's really not. She also mentioned that most car makers internationally have pledged to go all electric by the year 2030. That's the goal. That's the year that it's known as the year of no return, which means that by the year 2030, there's very little that the world can do to change things. Even companies, industries, cars, people individually, etc. It won't make a big difference after that. So most car companies have pledged that they will go all electric by the year 2030. Some are going before then, by the year 2025, which is 3 years from now, such as one of the brands of GM, which is Cadillac. And by the year 2040, two more, the last two car makers, Toyota and Mazda, I believe, they will go all electric as well, which means that after the year 2030, there won't be any more new cars put in the market for people to buy. Whatever is out there, that's all we're gonna have. And all the other cars will be either hybrid or electric. And so we need a network of chargers to sustain all these cars that will be inundating the market. The other issue is that there are great government rebates right now, like Rebecca said, because there's a lot of money being allocated with these green initiatives worldwide. Each country is supposed to do their own internal research, and each country came up with their own goals. And they had to come up with their own money to support these initiatives, and they have, and we have. Montgomery County has a lot of money, but it's first come, first served. So really time is of the issue right now. And this is why we are doing this study, and we'd like to push it to be discussed by the board next week and voted on either a yes or no. But if we're going to do it, we really can't delay, not just for the environmental reasons, but the money is there. If we do this, it will be almost free for the waterfall. And additionally, like, we'll get there. And additionally, this obviously will become a very attractive feature to have in a condominium because it's going to be a given in a few years. So it will add value to our building. Where would these stations go? We are proposing two different locations. One, not both, just one of them. And we'll let the board decide, and the residents give their opinion. This is why we're having this session, so people can opine, they can ask questions. And if they are opposed, so be it, let the board know so we can have an open discussion about this. The first proposed location that we are thinking about is right outside the boiler room, right here in the back parking lot. The other location would be right across that area by the generator, by the wooden enclosure that's in there, by the picnic area. Why those two locations? Because both have already existing electrical conduits in there. And I believe it was in 2018, we had a lobby renovation, and Mr. Moscow in the front desk had to operate from a trailer outside. And all the electrical conduits and other connections were run to that trailer. And since then, they were left there. And so it would be to our advantage to save money and disruption to the parking lot to use that location. So again, option number one would be here, right outside the boiler room. And this is the preferred location of Mark. He says that it would be great if that area could be empty most of the time for deliveries. Also, the trash truck comes or the moving trucks come and they have to maneuver, and you know, it will be more space available. And the proposed location number two again is right across by the generator in there. And what is the cost? What would be the cost of this? The projected cost would be $48,505. $505 initial cost.
For each unit.
No, for both chargers. Minus, I mean, this is the part that's unbelievable. There are rebates right now between Montgomery County and Pepco that we will get rebates of $46,692. So if you subtract that from the initial cost of $48,505, it will give us a net cost of $1,813 only. So basically, the benches that we have in the lobbies, each one costs $1,000. So basically, it will cost us 2 benches to operate these 2 chargers for the next 5 years. I'll go into more detail. Would there be any?
Not to operate them.
Yes, it will be.
Katya, can we please hold our questions until the end?
Okay, would there be any other fees related to this, to running these chargers? Yes. We have to subscribe to a commercial cloud plan. Just like when you buy a new phone, you buy it, but you cannot make a phone call and it's not connected to other phones. Same thing. We have to subscribe to the cloud so that we can be seen in a map and the charger can be operational. And that yearly, that cost would be $1,108 a year, right? Additionally, this is for the both chargers. Additionally, there should be an insurance plan that will cover any mishaps that may happen with the charger, so they can send the technicians and they can fix the units. And that would cost $1,080 a year. So both of those expenses yearly would be $2,000 $188. Or if you want to find out what is monthly, it would be $182 monthly. However, this would be, I want you to remember this extra fees, because these extra fees will go away for the next 5 years if we play our cards right. And we'll look at this in a moment. But I wanted to bring up to your attention for comparison some of the expenses that the waterfall has incurred in the last year or so, within the last year, just so that we can compare the cost of these chargers and the other costs that we've, other expenses that we've had. The board agreed to pay $12,950 for an engineering structural study that was approved earlier this year, I believe in January. Grounds maintenance contract, $14,800. We purchased 13 benches, the benches that you see outside the elevators. We paid $13,000 for those benches at the price of $1,000 per bench.
My God.
I'm sorry? Oh, we also just authorized this past board meeting a payment of $6,950 to add a wood architectural feature on each elevator area, on each lobby area, on each elevator. And then last year, we also purchased a trash container, one of those large green trash containers for $5,000. So if you go back to pay $1,813 for 2 chargers, it is very reasonable. Actually, it is a really good deal. The bids, we reached out to 4 different companies to get prices on this project for comparison and for the board and the residents to look into this. The reason Lightility is on top, this is an electrical company. First of all of these companies came on site and took a look at the project in person. Lightility came, this was more than a month ago, and they are giving us the price that I used earlier to quote the best price, $48,505. And after the rebate that I mentioned before, $46,698. Our total price, like I mentioned before, it would be $1,813. We reached out to another company, Gut Electric. They would charge us $38,310. However, they are saying that they would not include the chargers. The waterfall will have to purchase the chargers independently, which is not a good deal because it's more things to to get organized and all that. A third company is called Green Energy Electric and Sign. They are charging us $43,000, and this company does not handle rebates. We would be on our own to submit rebate forms and keep an eye on these payments from the Montgomery County and PEPCO. The last company is ERA Building Solutions. We are already working with this company. They have been doing a building reconnaissance and how to improve our energy in the building with our systems. They have said that the solar paneling project and the EV charging stations project are both independent projects. So we can go ahead, those can be done now. Other projects that they're looking into, such as the elevator and everything else, have to be coordinated and do pretty much be done at the same time, but not these two, the solar paneling and the EV charging stations. And reason why we are moving to get this, to do this study now and have a decision from the board, because the money, other buildings are doing the same thing. So we need to make sure if we do this, that we get the rebates. This company would also handle paperwork so that we can get rebates. And so, I wanted to go over again over these companies. These 2 companies in the middle, Gut Electric and Green Energy, I would myself, because I dealt with them, this is what I think, but you guys can discuss this and give your opinion to the board. I would not go with gut electric because obviously we will have to purchase the chargers individually. The green energy and design, they do not handle our rebates. We do not need the headache of doing that extra and it would be risky to invest 48,505 and not get our money back. So it would be between this company, ERA and Lightility. And Lightility is giving us the best price. I also wanted to mention that this company on top, Lightility, has been used by our management company, ComSource. Dan Lowry, who is our contact there, he manages other properties. One of them is a property called Woods Fall in North Bethesda in Rockville. And last year, November last year, they finished the same project. They had 2 chargers installed in their property and everything went smoothly. They liked the company. There were no problems. The chargers are working fine. And the condominium has already received full rebates. And so they are very well recommended. And I had a positive experience with them. They are very responsive. If they even return a phone call on a Sunday, I was very impressed. Okay, so those are the 4 bids that we received from them. And how would this work if we do it? First of all, like I said, the electricians came and they went inside the boiler room where Mark and Ed hang out in there, to the deepest room in there where all the electrical connections start. And they identify this panel and this panel is the same, but the pictures were taken at different time. This is why they look different color. It's panel D, and they identify here these spaces that are empty where the connections can be set up for these 2 chargers. Then the electrical connections will run to the next room that's closest to the outdoor area. And they go onto the wall on this electrical paneling. And there is a hole in there where the cables go outside. Here on this box over here.
Oh,
Here. Those are the connections that were run already, like I said, when the trailer was outside. Here, I put it across in here is the same box. And so the connections are right there where the blue tape is. They're underground, so we don't see them now, but they're there. This is another picture of the same thing. And currently they go to this electrical box over here. The concrete boxes on the ground, they're there. And then this is a picture from the inside of the boiler room. So here is the boiler room over here, right? Here is the electrical box. That's the underground connection to the concrete electrical box. And right now the connections keep going and they cross the parking lot under the concrete and they go to this wooden enclosure there. So if we want to go with option 1 to have the chargers in here, the electricians will have to come and dig a little trench in here to run the connections from the concrete box to over here, because right now they're not there, they are going across. Here is another view of the same proposed location number 1. There will be 1 charger there with 2 ports. 2 ports where 2 hoses come out. So there will be 1 port will be able to charge 1 car in there, and another port will charge another car here. And this charger will be able to charge 2 other cars, 1 here and 1 here. Same thing here, it's the same picture, but from farther away. And these chargers, these companies use, they're all the same. This is a commercial charger, and they come in two heights or two sizes. This one is the one that we're proposing. It's 6 feet tall, and this is me. I'm 5'4" over there. This is for proportion, and you can see the size of the charger. It's almost the size of a body. I'm a little fatter, but and it's a little taller than me. There's another model that we could use that's taller, that's 8 feet tall. I'm thinking that the community may want the one that's less obtrusive to the landscape, but I'm not sure. You guys will have to give your opinion. And so if this charger was going to be here, it will be able to charge one car there and one car here with these two ports. See, there's one port there and one port there.
Four parking lots,
Yes,
four parking lots.
yes, that's the only way to get that rebate. Yes. And option number 2, like I mentioned, is across right there where the electrical connections are already there. The electrical connections are anchored inside this structure. Yes, this is a picture of what it is there right now. So the electricians will use these connections. Here is a picture, just kind of highlighting what I'm saying. That's the electrical connection there. And they are saying that they would potentially, they could put a charger there. The same thing, the same capabilities that could charge one car there and one car there. And the other charger would be there that could charge one car there and one car there. Same thing here. Excuse me one moment. My computer is about to go out of power. I need to keep the cable up. It will be really bad. You're fine, Josie. So no, no.
Do you know what the plug is?
No.
Oh,
Oh, it's right, one right there.
It's right over there.
Okay.
This one might be closer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come with it.
Here.
Thank you. Sorry. Sorry, everybody.
Don't move.
Is it-
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Excuse me,
Okay.
everybody.
I'm good.
Thank you. And so this is the second picture again, same thing from a farther away. And in this picture, you can see both locations at the same time. Okay, proposed location number 1, outside the boiler room. And the second location proposed would be this one. And again, we're proposing just one location, not both. It would be up to the board and the residents to, you know, opine and let the board know what you think. But on both locations, they're proposed because we would save money and there wouldn't be a lot of digging going on. It doesn't mean that it has to be right there. It could also potentially be on this side. And in here, it could be on that side. The point is that they can't go too far out to avoid the disruption. Now, the electricians did say to be upfront that if we use this location by the enclosure, there would be some disruption to the parking lot. Because as you can see, there's almost no space here to anchor a charger of the size that I show you. This is the size of the human body. And so they will have to be digging, to do some digging in here and here. And this edge, concrete edge would be disrupted and maybe a small hole in here. And they also said that they would not repair it. We will have to pay someone, a different company to repair that section. Or I don't know if Ed can do it, but they wouldn't do it because they are not a concrete company. They are just electricians. That will be on our packet, on our dime. And so now I'd like to really quickly talk about ChargePoint. ChargePoint is the chosen company that by all these companies and by my own research, this is the best company in the market for these EV chargers. The charging station that we are recommending is this one. Is from the 4000 series. And like I said before, these come in two sizes, 6 feet tall and 8 feet tall. And they have two ports, one here and one on the other side. So they are capable of charging two cars at the same time. They're very user-friendly. They have a little window here where you can tap your ChargePoint card. It releases the handle, and then you grab it and you put it in your car and charge. Or you can manage the whole transaction from your phone. You open the app and you do whatever you have to do in your app, and it communicates with the charger and it releases the port, and you grab the handle and charge your car. And how do you open an account? You just go to chargepoint.com and open an account just like any other account, or go to your smartphone and go to this, download the app and the account, just enter your name, phone number, email address, create a password, etc., and enter your credit card information, and it will save it. So this is for the residents who were thinking that maybe the Waterford residents will have to pay when they charge. Each person that stops by a charger and uses it, they have their own account that they've opened before. And when you do that, it accesses their credit card information that you saved on your account. Here is an example of what it looks like when you look at your account. You can go on the laptop or you can see it on your phone. This is just an example, right? But you can see all the activity that you do when you charge your car. For example, this person started charging at 6:30 p.m. He stayed in the charger for 15 minutes. And the charger ended, the person charged 0.67 kilowatts of electricity. And the machine tells you here, when you open the account, it asks you what type of electric car you drive, right? And then it calculates for you automatically every time you charge, how long can you go with the electricity that you charge. In this case, this person can go 24 kilometers. This is from someone in Europe. Like I said, so you can be comfortably in your apartment if it is raining or in the middle of the night, and check if the charger is available, and only then go downstairs and charge your car. This company has live support 24/7. They have multilingual live customer service reps. And these units have been in the market since the very beginning when these chargers went into the market, and they are all over Europe, North America, Asia, etc., and in some Northern European countries, so that they are proven to withstand harsh environmental conditions, such as below zero temperature, snow, ice, you name it. This I already covered, how to use the charger. I wanted to go back to something that Katya was saying. Let me see if I can find this. So the chargers here. Okay, we mentioned earlier here that these annual fees, there are some annual fees. After we have the units installed here, we will have to pay $182 a month. And this fee would include the subscription to the cloud to be part of the network and use the chargers to have them active, and insurance, right? However, if we go with this utility quote that is the winning quote so far, this price that they're giving us, $48,505, includes cloud plan for 5 years, as well as the insurance plan for 5 years, which means that we can have these units running for 5 years for free, no cost. On the year number 6, these charges will start because, you know, this money that we paid upfront will run out. And then we'll start paying 182 a month. However, if we play our cards right, as you know, we can set the price for this. So if there is a nominal charge, for example, of a few cents per charger per person who uses the charge, that money can go to this monthly charge to offset that charge. So, you know, it's a good investment, and the price is right and the time to do it is right. We're going to do it. We're going to do it sooner or later, which it looks like we will have to do it eventually. If we do it now, it will be almost free. It will cost us the price of 2 benches, basically. And that's the end of the presentation. Thank you for attending. And if anybody has any questions, also, if you'd like to opine, please do it this week or before the board meeting next week, because we will be presenting this for discussion and for a vote to the board next Tuesday. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, and Joyce has a question, yeah?
So what are the, is it guaranteed that we would get the wheat rebate?
And she asked if it is guaranteed that we will be getting those rebates. It is guaranteed because, like I said, like Tility just did this in another condominium right here, a few miles away from us. ComSource is backing this company. I've done my research, I'm backing this company. It is guaranteed if we do it this year, yes. Not if we wait 2 or 3 years, because the money is first come, first served. By then, the funds may have been, you know, exhausted.
I have multiple questions.
Okay, Katya has some questions.
First of all, we're taking away, we have limited parking. We're taking away 4 parking spots for people who may use it, a very small segment of the community. The rest of us are going to be screwed. Secondly, how do you handle, okay, if I were to buy a Tesla, I will pull in and then I'm going to go to bed. So that station is gone for the night.
Okay, yeah.
How
so-
do I get, how does the next person, if there are multiple people,
Mhm.
how do they get a chance to get on it?
Okay, so we'll tackle one question first, and I guess you're not hearing what she's saying, but I'll rephrase it or I'll repeat. One question that she had, I'm gonna say the last first because that's the one I remember. Is she's saying that when people decide to use the charger in the middle of the night or whatnot, they may just go to sleep and then that particular charger will be unusable for someone else who may want to use it. And so that's the one question, right?
The parking spot will be unusable.
Yeah. So first of all, I don't have all the answers. I'm just doing the study, but there are ways to manage that, and we will get the advice of different people, the company that does this, ComSource, and it will also probably be a learning curve because this will be the first time that we do it. But for what I've heard, there are ways to manage that. For example, I heard discussions that they were saying that, you know, there's a limited time, and if the person goes over whatever time that they preset, an hour or whatever, then the rate at which the person will be charged a lot of money for staying there. So the person will have to set an alarm or something, or otherwise when they wake up in the morning, they'll be paying a lot of money. The credit card will be charged for a lot of money because after you charge the car, if you stay there, you'll be paying a parking rate, not the charging rate anymore. And that will be very expensive, which should deter people from doing that. Would it happen still? Maybe so, but I mean, when there's money involved or a penalty, that's a pretty good incentive for people to make sure that it doesn't happen. That's what I've heard, because that question has come up before, and that's the answer that I heard. But like I say, I don't have all the answers.
It's okay.
And the other question that Katya was asking is that this proposed 2 charging stations will take 2 parking lots.
Four parking
I'm sorry, 4
spaces.
parking spaces, yes. And the answer is yes. There's no way around it. We're not denying it. It would be, and this is why it's up for discussion. And if you guys feel that that's not something that we need to do now, when you need to reach out to the board and explain to them why not, et cetera, there will be a discussion with pros and cons. What I probably we will have to awaken or revive the parking committee to see, to come up with a review of how we are handling our current parking spaces, because some people on and off do come and park that don't live here from our neighbors. So that the towing truck will have to be very active, and then maybe come up with a revised rules as to, and how many cars can a unit have. I mean, I myself remember when at some point I had 4 cars. I know it sounds awful, and I was just thinking about myself. I never thought, I didn't know how many parking spaces there were. I didn't know if there was the top. I just went, every time I had a car, I went to the front desk and I would get a green sticker. Nobody ever told me that was like, and now looking back, it was awful and selfish, but so, that could be the case with other residents. They could have 3 or 4, 5 cars, I don't know. So it will be something maybe for a parking committee to see how we can control that and make up for the 4 parking spaces that will be taken. And there's no way around it. They will be taken if we do this.
No question. Couldn't it
Joyce
al-
has a question.
Couldn't it also be located in the front? There's electricity at the sign out front.
The
But
reason why it can't be located out front is because of the
Proximity.
initial
Close to the road.
general dislike
Would
of the
that not be less
location.
Might that not be less desirable parking space?
Okay, Joyce said that, what about the front, that she feels that there are electrical connections there?
There are lights on the sign out front, right?
I don't
Or
know if it's
will
the
be.
same
It's still
type.
using
think-
4 parking spots.
And what did you say, Rebecca?
I was just gonna let Joyce know that it was a greater disruption to our current parking out front, as well as the visibility of the building. We've had negative feedback about that potential before. We're not trying to advertise this to
Mhm.
people in general. We're just trying to keep within our required notifications per getting the rebates.
So she's saying that we've had negative feedback about that spot before, and that it would probably also kind of advertise it too much to everybody that we have this, and everybody will be able to see it. So potential for more people to come here to use it that are not residents.
So anybody would be able to use it.
Yes,
So
anybody,
non-residents could park there. Could I park in that space without using the electrical outlet?
no. No,
Very
no,
good.
people
What
would
would
not be
stop
able
me?
to park there.
You would be fined
What would stop you?
extremely high rates of parking. That's
Right.
the thing.
Exactly. That's the whole point of having this. The county, Montgomery County is not offering this money to just so the Waterford or other condominium can benefit, and it's a gift to us. The entire point is to make an impact in it from an environmental standpoint, and add charging units to have a larger network of units to support the electrical vehicles that will be inundating the market soon. I'm sorry, you guys had a question, Andrew, and
Yeah, I have lots of questions.
Uh-oh.
So
every time you ask a question, I will repeat it so they can hear it, okay?
okay. So what you're saying is that these stations are not just for use for Waterford folks, but they're for use for anybody, correct?
Is that your first question?
That's my first question.
Yes, Edie just asked from the 9th floor, if these charging stations would be for the general public as well, and not just for the Waterford residents. And the answer to that is yes. This is why Montgomery County is giving these rebates. Like I said before, they are trying to add charging stations to the network. People will be able to come here and use the charging stations if needed. The board has touched on this before, and apparently there are ways to deter people again from using not private charging stations, but charging stations that are in private areas like ours. And one way would be to charge non-residents of the water for a higher rate, a much higher rate. We as owners of these charging stations can set the price. And we heard before something like a ridiculous price, like $50 or whatever, and we can set the prices. And so if someone is really desperate, they will come here, like if they have no power probably, but if they can see in the map that maybe there's one at Safeway and one by the Metro, and that's obviously less expensive. The one at the Metro belongs to the county, and they probably will drive there and use that one.
Okay, and then to touch base on a previous question, someone had said, if you are sitting in the spot and you charge and then you decide to go to bed, but somebody could be like, well, there's no otherwhere else. I don't want to move the car, but I'm going to unplug the charger. I mean, you're not charged because you're sitting in the spot. You're charged because you're hooked up to the charger. So you could have residents sitting in that spot, taking that spot, not using the charger. So how are we going to deter that?
As far as I know, oh, I'm sorry. She was asking, how are we going to deter people when they see that there is no other place to park, to use that parking spot and kind of fake it that they are charging, or maybe charge it and then unplug it and just
Yeah.
try to stay there. Is that what you said? Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And there is a way for, like I mentioned, like I show you in one of the slides, everything gets recorded in Mr. Moscow, the Waterford front desk, Mr. Moscow management, they will have access to see the activity of the chargers, like how much they're being used, whatever. And there probably will be a camera there as well, so that, the people will be penalized. And they are not supposed to do that. You're supposed to stay there while you charge. And I think there's supposed to be a preset time, window of time, to grace period for you to move the car, like a reasonable amount that the Waterford will have to preset during the installation period. There are other details that need to be worked out, and that's one of them, where we would decide how much time is a grace period for someone to move the car, something reasonable, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever we decide to. And after that, the person will be charged a higher rate.
So are we looking at towing cars that stay there for too long?
No, the conversations
That aren't charging.
okay.
Like I honestly, I do care even about the ones, because it's not like the Waterford is the one that's getting the money for the penalty of someone staying plugged in overnight.
Oh, we would.
Yes.
We're getting
Yeah, the money will
plugged in.
come, Waterford will get the money because
How?
the charges will belong to us.
I thought that their card was being charged by
The
charge.
third party is charge point, but we as the community set the prices for non-residents. So we
I'm
can
talking about
designate,
residents.
Even for residents, but yeah, but that's a
Right.
different fee. That's for a fee that we will set up for penalty, not for charging.
Okay.
That fee we will collect.
And then has there been how many people at the Waterford currently have electric cars or are looking to get an electric car in the near future? Because I haven't seen anything for that.
Right, we are, that's part of the study. When we present the study next week, we will be able to include that as well. We've sent several notices to residents to, count themselves as an owner of a hybrid or electric. And a lot of people are just not reaching out, even though we see that the cars are there. We can volunteer them to do that, but that's another discussion that has taken place also, that what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Because a lot of residents have said, well, the reason I haven't purchased a hybrid or an electric car is because there isn't a charger here, And when I'm out of power, I don't feel like going to Safeway or to the mall to charge my car. You know, it's late at night in the middle of winter. I'm just not going to do that, you know, especially if it is that you have to wait until your car gets charged. So it's something that we will include that in the study, but I don't have the figures right now. And it's something that even if the number of residents is low, we're still going to go ahead and present this to the board because we have to start at some point somewhere.
No, I mean, I think it's a great idea. I just, like, I haven't received anything. I am an owner of a hybrid.
Oh, really?
You don't have to charge a hybrid. I mean,
Right,
that's
right,
the point.
Yeah. Well, we put notices, it's on the website and we sent multiple notices. I put another request on the bulletin board, but you know, I think sometimes people see a request or a notice and they mean to respond and if they postpone it, maybe they forget, I'm not sure. I've seen, Mr. Moscow has seen several cars, but you know, we can't, like I said, volunteer the people's names or nothing, or to count them. So it's volunteer.
I have a question. So
Yes,
no
Andrew.
matter what company or what charging stations or any of that, the user will have to pay. There's nothing under consideration where it will just be free use. I just want to confirm that.
Okay, Andrew,
The only way to get the rebate is if we have pay per use.
Okay. Good to
So
know.
getting that 50,000, almost 45, 46, whatever rebate is what the big lure is to do it now. And then if we wanted to convert that later on, that'd be a different conversation or a different move.
okay, Andrew, and I know that Rebecca already answered, but can you repeat your question again so I can?
Sure. I just wanted to confirm that there was nothing under consideration where you'd be able to charge it without paying, where it would just be paid by the building. But it seems that the answer is
Okay.
no, it has to be paid by the user.
Okay, so Andrew from ninth floor just asked if there's any chance or any talks about installing these units and have the residents of the Waterford be able to charge the cars for free. And the answer to that is no, or at least not at this point. Who knows in the future, you know, as cars become, this type of cars become more common, how things will go or whatever. But right now we still have a lot of opposition, I'm thinking. So no, probably we'll have a competitive rate for residents. Just like it will be convenient in the sense that it will be right here on site and safe for you to charge in the middle of the night or bad weather, whatever. You can charge it while you walk your dog, and when you come back, you get it, something like that. You know, and for outsiders, it most likely will be a very high rate to deter other people from coming here, even though just by being in the back of the building is a deterrent in itself, because it's hard to find the back. If you have someone coming here to deliver something or whatever, most of the time they can't find the back of the building. They think that they have to go around Geiger Avenue. They don't even know that there's a way to get in the back of the building. So.
Well, also, Marcella, you asked me to look up some pricing on how much it would save.
Okay, so
average.
Rebecca, give me 1 second. Alan has been trying to ask a question. I'm sorry?
We can't hear you.
Alan was trying to ask a question.
Alan is muted on his device, but trying to ask a question to them.
Okay, ask the question and I'll refresh it if you want.
First question, does
It's kind of a few questions.
Rose proposal include 5 years of cloud connectivity and product and
How many or which one?
the ERA proposal, there's 2 proposals that were reasonable, right?
Yes.
Vitality and ERA. Does the second proposal include the 5 years of cloud connectivity and insurance?
I believe so, yes.
Second question.
Okay, I'm sorry. He's asking if the 2 companies that are contestants for the bid, Vitality and ERA, are both including a subscription to the plan for 5 years and insurance for 5 years. And yes, the answer is yes.
Second question is, how much is the ERA per month? As you said vitality was 181 a month. How much is ERA per month?
He's asking how much would be after 5 years for the ERA per month. And the answer to that is I don't know. I would assume that it's about the same because that fee is something that we pay to Charge Point. So that's the same company that we'll be doing business with. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, third question is, can we have copies of the maintenance and plans?
When you, okay,
Insurance.
he's asking if we can have copies of the maintenance and cloud plans. When you say can we, who is we, the board?
The water, can we look at the contract before we sign it?
He
Can we
wants to
look
know,
at it Now,
he wants to know if we can look at the contract before we sign. Yes, we can.
Well, I'm actually, I meant before we commit.
Yes, I can have that ready for the board meeting. Yes.
More.
And he's got 2 more. Okay.
Can we have a copy of the Montgomery County contract with respect to our obligations? Speak this.
He wants to make sure that we get a copy from the Montgomery County government as to what would be our obligations by having these chargers on site. And I can do that. And one of the obligations, like I already mentioned, is that once we receive the money, we are saying that we will make these chargers available to anyone that needs them in the area.
And I'm wondering if there's a time limit. So, okay, read it.
Oh, yes, okay.
Last question, the big one.
And then he's coming with a big question.
Can we get a quote from the 2
Companies,
best companies to install the same stuff in some sort of an optional way, not to throw out your plan, but to add another option
That's a different scope of research, Alan.
on other property, inside our property boundary, but accessible to the public without complicating our parking. And we asked the 2 companies to give us their ideas and a quote to do that.
he wants to know if we can ask the 2 contesting companies, Lightility and ERA, whether they can provide us with a quote to have this work done in a different spot. And the spot will be where?
On Geiger.
On
Outside
Geiger,
the
on
fence.
Geiger. And that, what I would do about that is that I will give you the contact information so you can ask them, because this study is very limited scope about this particular
Okay, so your
2
answer is, as far as
options.
your role as the chair of the committee is, you don't want to do that.
Well, no, this is a very
Legally,
limited,
we can't install things on Geiger.
Why would you put them on Geiger?
so because this, oh, well, wait a
That way
minute,
we're
hold
not
on one
losing
moment,
the
please. Let me answer the
parking
question.
spots
This
in the
This
public
committee is
transportation.
near the end of the findings. We've already gone through the process of reaching out to companies. They've already come on site. And this is the end of the discovery and all that. So to get new quotes, someone else from the board, I don't know, whoever, will have to maybe branch out with them, which is fine, but this is the scope of this study is just these 2 locations for 2 chargers. And for a yay or a nay now with to be done this year to be able to use the money that's available so that we can pay almost nothing for these chargers and have them working for 5 years for 0 cost to the waterfront.
I've done this.
Man, Joyce has a question.
I'm sorry to repeat the same question, really, but you said 2 contradictory things. One was you said that the rebate is guaranteed, but you also said it was while the money lasts. Those are contradictory statements.
But she's saying that I made a contradictory statement because she asked me earlier if the rebates were guaranteed, and I said yes. And then I've also said that first come, first serve, which is also true. I don't feel that is contradictory. The money is there now, and there is sufficient money now. I was told by one of these companies that 70% of funding is still there, but we are anticipating that a lot of condominiums and other multifamily complexes will try to do this. So the sooner we do it, the more we can be sure that, we're not gonna be towards the end.
Right, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, when, do you get the guarantee of the rebate before you complete before you execute the project?
No, she's saying, do you get the guarantee of the rebate before you complete the project?
Would it be fair to say that on a quarterly basis, we can reanalyze the probability of a rebate to ensure that the probability is high, we get it without going into and going through all the efforts?
Rebecca is saying that maybe we could reassess as we advance into the project. Is it good paraphrasing what you're saying or not?
Quarterly, because we're
she's
looking at Maryland's
quarterly.
budget, Montgomery County's budget, we're assessing
Quarterly.
whether the funds are there.
Mhm. I'm gonna have to kind of not disagree totally with you, but I would say that, and this is why this is like, it needs it's a discussion and a decision soon, this month or next month at the latest. And we need to move fast because once we sign the agreement with the company and they come, they can do this installation in 2 to 3 weeks.
Free money.
And then we have 30 days to have Pepco come and check that the chargers are working. They show on the network and they were making them available to the public. And we have 30 days to complete the rebate submission. And when we do that, we should be able to get the money. Like I said, another condominium just got not just what was promised, which was this, but an additional rebate that they were able to get for the condominium. So that was almost free. They just don't want to say that it's free. And so and the committee will commit to, if we do this, to oversee that we submit all the paperwork within the 30-day period, and we will oversee so that we can get the money, because that's something that frankly, I'm concerned. I don't want to leave this rebate thing to anyone else, not to management, not to anybody. I will commit to take care of this and oversee that we do this within the 30 days. And then I will check with Pepco and Montgomery County so we can get the rebates.
Personally, I don't think you're ready to make a commitment. There are way too many questions. And I don't like rush projects. You have
I
to
wouldn't
sign
say
it
this is
now.
a rush project.
Yes
We've
or
been
no?
discussing
That-
this
that
for
kind of
over a
worries me.
year.
Because we haven't worked through all the project, all the questions.
Katja is saying that she feels that we're rushing and that there are too many questions up in the air. And to that, I'll have to say that we have been talking about this since 2018. The board has talked about this on and off, and nothing has been done. And this is why we decided to put this study together and move and go through the process. We did the study, we with the committee, we have this information session that a lot of people are not attending, but that's on them. And then the next step is going to be to submit this for discussion and vote to the board, and we will do that. And if someone doesn't like it or doesn't agree, please reach out to the board, express your feelings, because now is the time. I will go ahead and submit this for discussion. Because we need to do something. It's the board sometimes need to be more decisive. And there's a lot of talk going on, but there needs to be more, after the conversation, we need to come up to something more concrete. And, it could be a no, it's possible, but we'll see.
So can I just, and you can address this.
Alan has a question. Mhm.
You would address all the other complexity of managing the parking and the rates and towing questions. This committee is taking a pretty hard position if they want a yes or no. Are they equally committed to dealing with all those problems? Are they going to help manage those problems? They're going to come up with a scheme for all of those other problems? Or is it just, we want the money committed now because it's a good deal, $10,000, and then somebody else's problem?
No, she's already said she'll restrict or more parking for all of us so that a few of you can have this luxury.
Thank you for your commentaries. I'd like to present a concept.
Okay,
We are committed to the committee going forward. Frequently, you do need to have that community support and the
But
involvement.
I think there's a whole layer of administration that's gonna come from this. and
that's true.
I don't know.
Alan was asking, I don't know if the rest of the people were able to hear, but he was asking if the committee is committed to oversee the different aspects of this installation and the setting of the rates, parking issues, etc. And the answer is yes, at least I'm committed. And,
Don't tell me this.
you know, and this is what we're here for, to aid Mr. Moscow. Additionally, the companies that do this, for example, like Utility, they've done this many times, and there's a process in which they work with the multifamily unit, the waterford condominium in this case, to set all those parameters in place. So yes, there's 30 days for us to do that, to do different things, to set up the price, to set up the logo of the building on the charging stations, etc. And they will teach Mr. Moscow how to be able to monitor the activity, etc.
Would it be fair to say that if we had the board's approval, that the committee would be going forward, starting to negotiate these types of decisions ahead of time?
Yes,
So that we could have them approved by the board before going to market and having everything available to our community members?
definitely. Everything will be
Right.
done in the open, of course.
Do we have any more questions from the community or?
I do want to say that I do thank you guys for the information that you have provided. You know, I don't think that anybody is trying to be harsh to the point where anybody needs to get defensive about it. You know, people were just concerned, you know, and wanted more information. Like I said, you know, I haven't seen anything. I've been here for 6 years. I haven't seen anything asking, hey, you have an electric car, if you have a hybrid car. Like, I haven't seen anything from that. And no, I don't attend board meetings, but I do read the emails. And, you know, this is only the second meeting I've been to, but it's very important that, to me, with this one, so, you know, like, I don't think anybody here meant anything offensive at all whenever they were talking. So I'm sorry if it came across that way.
Oh, no, not at all. No, we are thanking all the questions, and this is why we're doing this. We welcome all the questions. And we know that, I mean, not everyone is going to agree. We know that. Just to your other point, like if you go to the waterfordcondominium.com on, what is the section where we put?
Yeah, I don't go there.
Mr.
Sorry.
Committees,
Oh,
I
okay.
know.
Yeah, so that's how Mr. Moscow sent the notice, and I've been sending notices every month for people to reach out and let us know how they feel about it and to see if they have electric cars or hybrid. But I will put another request on the bulletin board. I don't
An
know.
email would be much
Yeah,
more
yeah,
useful.
Yeah.
So
an
we're
email.
working towards getting the bylaws updated so we can send you emails about important stuff.
Okay.
Or there's an admin for the Facebook page. Like, even people on the Facebook page, like, I'm on the Facebook page
Oh, you
and I
are?
haven't seen it there even. So, you know,
I will let Danielle know. She's
Hello?
part of the Facebook page, but Charles Clem has said that the Facebook group is not
Official.
like official for the
Right.
waterford, because if it becomes official, someone from the board will have to probably monitor it or whatever. And so far it's a group of residents who are doing things, but I will reach out to Danielle. Maybe she can collect the information, or if you'd like to do that for us, that would be fantastic. Maybe talk to the people to belong to that group, and if they'd like to submit your opinions to you and you forward them to us.
of course, I
Um,
can definitely do that. And just to verify, is that Danielle Barba?
Yes,
Okay, great. Yep.
well, either you or she can do it. I mean,
I'll just ask her and make sure that she doesn't mind. I'm sure she won't, but I'm just gonna be like, hey, is it okay? I just attended the EV meeting and I just want to, they're trying to get information about how many people do have electric cars.
right.
Or
Because,
want them. Some of us want them.
Yeah, because I've received some letters from residents that they are interested in having them here. they noticed it to submit that letter to the board, but whichever way, we can print them and send them to the board with the study.
And I know you guys are
Hello?
trying to keep up, but I just thought of one more question.
Yes.
How long has this program been going on with Maryland, Montgomery County? Because I think you said that 70% of the money is still available.
Yes.
So when did this program start?
Pretty sure it's annual, but also the Maryland Climate Plan started in one moment. Also, John Anderson, did you have a follow-up question while I look into this?
Yes, hi. Yeah, I just wanted to comment because I was listening to everyone's discussions and I've been reading emails and I
Somebody's
was thinking,
talking,
you
but I
know,
can't hear them, so I don't.
Okay,
See
stay
any
here.
sense
I
in
will
saying
rephrase
why.
it. I will rephrase it.
But
Go ahead.
I have a comment.
you can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. So I, as a resident, a newer resident to here, we've only lived here about a year. You know, we're interested in this project, but you know, finding out that this type of thing is going to be not for the residents, but it's going to be everyone in the community. That kind of bothers me with strangers coming onto our property and running. You know, I don't like that idea of it. And also, what are the plans for in the future? Because as you said at the top of your presentation, that by so many years, all the car companies are going to have electric cars. That means everyone in this development eventually is going to need more spaces with these chargers. So if we just get 2 now, then what's going to happen in the future?
Right. That's what Alan Bear was saying earlier. Alan also belongs to the board, that he is looking into a proposal with more charging stations outside, like by Geiger Avenue or something, which is the street where the gate to walk the dogs is. And that's for another board member to look into it. And that's, you know, I just don't know what the scenario is going to be like in a few years, but you're right. We probably will need a lot more charging stations. And I guess the board at that time will have to look into as to how to deal with that. I don't know. And the other thing you said about other people to come here, we do have to make them available, and this is why we will be getting $46,000 plus. But we
Right,
don't,
and
we don't,
that seems to be the focus, is that it seems like the focus is on that we're going to get all this free money instead of actually really looking into how is it going to benefit everybody that lives in this building. That's the way it's seeming like to me, that it seems like we're more concerned over because it's free than how is it really going to ultimately benefit everyone here when we're losing 4 parking spaces for the whole building. So, and it's not even going to be for people who only live here, it's going to be for people who live all in the area. So we're losing 4 spaces for people in the area. So it's just,
The
that's just a
acknowledgement-
concern that I would have.
I would like to say, I don't know if you heard earlier, but the charges for people who didn't live here would just be so much higher, and we get to set those.
Oh, I understand what you're saying, but it's still, I think more people should be involved in the building, and more information should be given out. Whatever emails or whatever you've been sending, I don't think has been enough, because I don't think it was as educational as what we saw tonight. And I don't think anyone in the building like ourselves, we didn't know all this other stuff about it. So it was very educational, but I think we need to find a way to get it out to more people. And so anyway, so that's all that I was, I mean, I think the idea is great, and I think that we're all gonna need to use, we're gonna eventually all be using electric vehicles in the future. So, it's definitely something to look into, but I'm just saying I would move cautiously and not move just because we're getting something for free. That's all I'm saying. So that's just my opinion, but
no, thank
I
you.
really
Thank you.
appreciate that you showed up tonight to participate, because, we are asking for people to, and it's
Right.
hard
and
to get them there.
That's true. And this is part of our effort to disseminate the information. But I mean, as you can see, only a few people attended. So, and I'm glad you attended, but we have been trying. What other what other ideas would you suggest that we use to inform residents? I mean, I have some handouts that I printed with all the slides, you know, the PowerPoint and the quotes that I will put downstairs near the, you know, the table where people get the mail, etc. And I will leave some in the penthouse. But besides that, what other ideas do you have so we can reach more residents?
Well, I would definitely make like a synopsis, an overview of what was discussed tonight,
Mhm.
and then send it out, you know, by email to all the residents. And maybe because I know we read a lot of the emails, but we get bombarded with a lot of emails. And sometimes, you know, you look and it says Waterford committee meeting, Waterford this committee, that committee. There's so many different committees. You could have, you don't have time to go to every meeting. So, you know, this particular issue, I think, will be very interesting and something that everyone would want to know about. And I think that if you found a way to like get your PowerPoint on, send it an email to everyone and just give a synopsis of exactly what you stated and how it was going to go and how it's going to be presented to the board next week. And then people would, hopefully people would be reading that. I can't say that they will, but
yeah, it's a tricky situation because you know, we do hear what you just said earlier, the point that you mentioned earlier, that some people have contacted the front desk because they don't want to get so many emails. They get bombarded with notices and they just don't want them. And so it's a fine line, you know. I will I don't know how to do this. So this PowerPoint is already posted on the website under committee notices or whatever. And if you go, you open the committee notes or minutes, you'll see the ad hoc committee EV, and then all this presentation is already there. But like I said, I will leave some handouts here and downstairs. And if you'd like,
yeah, people
you-
might not even know that to go there. I mean, we've only lived here a year and I didn't even know about all that stuff. No one told us about it.
oh,
or
no,
anything.
this is new. We just started doing this
Oh.
2 months ago. Because the board has talked on and off about this since 2018, and then we had a fire, and that kind of, you know, changed our focus for almost 2 years plus, almost
Well,
3 years. And now we're just going back as to where were we 2018 and 2019 before the fire. Let's go back and, you know, go back to some of the things that we wanted to get done. And only in February, this committee was formed at the end of February during the board meeting. And last month was, you know, invested on reaching out to these electrical companies. They came on site, and some of them just turned the quotes last week. And, you know, getting all the details, the pictures and everything, and all the information together. But I want to make sure all the residents know this, and I want to make sure that this is on the open. And if someone doesn't agree, by all means, you need to say something and reach out to the board, because all of the residents need to be included. Obviously, this will affect everyone.
Right. Well, I thank you though for
No,
everything.
thank you for coming, because you're one of the few who came, you see. I mean, and I know people will be like saying, oh, I know nothing about this, but yet this was advertised and so few people showed up. I will post this. Hopefully more people will watch it and, you know, at least act either in favor or against, either way.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. Nice meeting you, even though I can't see you. Okay, anyone else has any more questions? Thank you for coming. And the kitty cats too, I see them in the background. Thank you, bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Rebecca. Okay, Alan, tell me again, what is it that you want?